Hey, this is Tyrese Anderson. So, what I want to talk about today is, does Joe Biden deserve the hate he is getting? So, anyone who's followed American politics for some time is probably familiar with the extreme level of hatred Donald Trump, or I should say Joe Biden, more like not really Donald Trump anymore, more like Joe Biden specifically, is getting. So, a lot of people don't like Joe Biden, and the hate is actually really bad in some cases. So the question that I think a lot of people have is that, is the hate justified or is it not? So for this video, I will explain how, if the hatred towards Joe Biden is justifiable or not. We're starting off with the first point. Now, when it comes to the hatred Joe Biden is getting, my simple answer to that question, first and foremost, is that I don't believe he deserves the hate he is getting. Because truth of the matter is that this COVID-19 pandemic that we have now, whose fault is it for insinuating the myth that COVID-19 is, just simply put it, a hoax, or it's not something to take seriously? I didn't do things that any logical person would do, such as, for example, shut down the country, make sure that you start going around testing places where people who are contaminated were, just like they did with Ebola. I personally believe Ebola was even worse than COVID-19. It had a higher fatality rate, and it seemed to be just as contagious, but you never heard that because they had better leadership at the time. You know, Donald Trump didn't take it very seriously, and as a result of that, he created a situation that is pretty bad. And of course, Joe Biden doesn't want a lot of people to end up dropping dead like flies because of COVID-19. So he shut down a nation, truth be told. So I don't see how you can blame someone for something, whether their their methods were completely organized or not. I don't know how you can blame someone for something that should have actually been prevented by the previous person, especially taking account that Obama, because of COVID-19, set up a system to prevent a future pandemic. Because people, of course, the American, I mean, the American government, there's a lot of things that they know that they don't tell the general public, at all. And they said that it's possible that there is this possibility there could be a virus coming from China. Who took away the ability for them to do anything about it? Guess who? It was Donald Trump. So I don't see how it's his fault. If anything, Joe Biden, more specifically, it's his fault for the COVID-19 pandemic and all that sort of stuff, and the constant lockdowns and unlockdowns, because Joe Biden can only do so much. A lot of states just decided to do that anyway. So, truth be told, it's not his fault for any of this stuff. It's Donald Trump and the GOP's fault for why COVID-19 spread like wildfire. That's the truth of the matter. So now let's get to the second point, which I'm certain you've probably heard about: the war in Afghanistan, where a lot of troops ended up having their lives simply put in vain because America withdrew from the United States. Or I should say, withdrew from Afghanistan. Sorry. I was just. Anyway, you get the point. Like, they withdrew from Afghanistan. The simple answer I have to say to that question is, once again, that is not his fault for that. Because the truth of the matter is, anyone who's been around for some time, a decent period of time, knows that, according to official story, whether or not it's actually true or not, Osama bin Laden, who's a person who masterminded the terrorist attack, 9/11, he's been dead since 2011. So why the hell are you still having a war that's costing people a bunch of money, when which people have been complaining, why are we still there? Why are we there? and all that stuff for the past few years, and then you finally leave, and now people are complaining about him being a coward for that. How's that his fault? He's not a coward. He's not a coward. He simply ended a war that was kind of obsolete at the point. They took out all the people that they needed to really take out. They just decided to prolong it. Donald Trump also was one of the biggest people who tried to prolong the war. So, truth be told, how is it his fault for that? Now, like I said, I'm willing to criticize everyone, in all honesty. Whether left, right, it don't matter. But I just don't see how that's his fault. Joe Biden's fault. That's Donald Trump's fault for not pulling them out and creating some BS excuses that just made this whole situation go on even longer. So that's the second reason why. People might make the argument about, well, why were we there in the first place? But whose fault is that? That's not Joe Biden's fault, for the fact that, well, why were we there in the first place? That was George W. Bush's fault. He was the one who put them there. You can't blame someone for something that is not directly their fault for it. So that's the second point I definitely have to make why I don't think he deserves the hate he's getting. Now, lastly, his plan, his plan he has as a whole as a president, I don't see why he deserves the hate he gets, truth be told. Because Joe Biden, some people might find a few things here and there that says, oh, well, Joe Biden might have done this or done that. That's pretty shady, or he plagiarized something from somebody's book. But truth be told, especially in the world we live in nowadays, does that even really hold up weight? Because pretty much everyone you look up, you always find that they have some dirt on them for both sides. But so truth be told, I don't even think those points really make any sense. But when it comes to, in general, his attempt to kind of reunify the nation, which was one of the things his campaign was about, truth be told, when it comes to reunifying America from the deep divided political divisions that that have been caused primarily, guess who? Donald Trump. How does he deserve the hate he gets? Truth be told, because he's trying to create a bipartisanism with that silly man Joe Manchin just simply using it and complaining about this and that and complaining about things that are completely irrelevant. He's just simply dividing a uh nation that doesn't deserve to be divided, which is Joe Manchin the idiot. Truth be told, though, he has seemed to have put some substantial effort into trying to reunify the party, but the Republicans just ignore him. So, truth be told, especially with his projects such as the Build Back Better plan and stuff, and his attempts to kind of make us, well, move forward, why are we not? Why is America not moving forward? The most these right wingers can say is, well, well, what about cancel culture? What about this and that? What the hell does that have to do with Joe Biden? That's movements created by stupid people on Twitter. That has literally nothing to do with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is just simply doing his job as a president. In all honesty, if people were to spend less time focusing on trivial things like cancel culture, and and some of these other points that the right wingers complain about, truth be told, I can guarantee you America would not have the amount of deaths it has, in all honesty. Because common sense shows that you focus on the most dangerous things first before you focus on things like that. Because those things that can be resolved. A disease is not something you can just resolve and say, oh, it's done. This is what I'm trying to say. So, in short, I don't believe he deserves the hate he gets. I don't believe it. I think it's unjustified and just in general completely unnecessary. He doesn't deserve the hate he gets. Maybe he's not perfect, but truth be told, he was probably going to be a generic president anyway. A one who just does a decent job in just fixing the things that have been made by some of his predecessors. But truth be told, he doesn't deserve the hate he gets. He doesn't do anything to anyone. He just seems to be more focused on building the country up again. So I don't see why he needs that level of hatred For what? For a man who spends all of his time just simply posting stupid tweets on Twitter and hasn't even studied anything about politics or knows anything really about it aside from business? Like, get real now. Anyway, this is my video. Um, if you like videos like this, remember to hit the subscribe button and thumbs it up. And that is all I have to say. So, later.